going to start recording this, just so that other students, I can post it and other students may benefit.
No problem.
So the final exam is mostly the finance stuff, but I was just looking at it. And of course, it's random, you know. So the questions are drawn straight from the quiz banks that you have already been dealing with. So there's no surprise. And let me just have a look again. There's 50 questions, all multiple choice questions. And I'll open it for tonight at midnight. And you can do it anytime between tonight and Sunday night. Oh, sorry. Let me change that. It does say Saturday, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it does.
I'll make it Sunday, yeah. That's the 22nd. Yeah. So the 22nd Sunday at 1:45 to midnight, as in the midnight that comes at the end of the day. So you have all day Sunday also. You can do it.
Is it possible to have a little more time? I find myself running out of time even on the quizzes. I'm like pretty much up against it. Is that something that is flexible? No. Because it's like, what, 5 minutes a question, maybe?
50 questions, it's 105 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you all feel about that?
Me personally, I mean, even on the economics final, I ran out of time. So I find that I'm always up against it. And if there's anything that involves, calculation, even if I set up the formulas in Excel, I find that I still take more time on those. Maybe it's just, me being too cautious, but it does take me a little more time.
Excuse me, I tend to somewhat agree. I've been running into time constraints on some of them. I have a little time left over, some of them I don't. And it seems like the finance section is a little more involved as far as complex calculations and that sort of thing, which do take time. I mean, there was one question on the last quiz that took me quite a while, and I ended up kind of running out of time on that one. So, I understand the position you're in, Dr. Gallagher, but if there's something you could do, it might be very helpful.
Okay, let me give it some thought, and I may be able to find my way to adding half as much time again. So that would be what, 150 minutes?
Mm-hmm. That would help a lot.
Okay.
I think, yeah. If you can, that would be really appreciated.
Okay, let me give that some thought.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I was looking at the exam. Like I said, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, those are from the recent, since the midterm. And then we have all of this, which is since the midterm. And then it looks like I put in maybe a dozen questions from the Manque text, which would be from the beginning of the semester.
So that's included in the 50?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So out of the 50, there's about a dozen questions that rehash the stuff that you would have seen on the midterm.
okay,
And again, they're the same questions, from the same quiz banks.
mm-hmm.
So I hope maybe that helps to know that.
Yeah, most definitely. I was thinking it was probably gonna be, even more from the latter part of the class, so it's good to go back and refresh.
Yeah, it's mostly from the latter finance part of the class.
Okay. So in the finance portion, and if you guys, if I'm talking too much, just tell me, but we have the time, so why not? There are the practice Excel spreadsheets that came with the book that I have, the online version. So are you familiar with those? I'm wondering if we should spend more time on those, on that full modeling of, say, a project, or think any of the questions will be related to that, or will they be more simple?
There might be a few questions like that.
Okay, like multi-step.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Of course, they're multiple choice though. So,
Right,
you don't let any of them go blank.
right.
But if you get a problem like that, and you're likely to get a few of those.
Mhm.
If you get a problem that requires, time, maybe you flag it and then go to the ones that you intuitively can answer.
Okay,
So you get through them all and then okay, there's, 8 questions here that I'm going to need to solve the problem. And that, I would imagine that would help you with time management.
yeah, yep,
Rather than, I got to figure this out. And then, scratching your head and figuring it out. And meanwhile, all this time is ticking away. So there will be some of those,
okay.
I'm hoping not a lot.
Well, we'll let you know if they are.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
Let me know that, this was unreasonable, or this was, I got way too many, Mark only got 5 questions that he had to figure out and I got 7. It's not fair.
well, that I wouldn't know. But I can tell you how many I got.
I haven't actually looked at the material in kind of a long time.
You mean I didn't ask you enough questions that forced you to open the book more than you wanted?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Okay.
I answered your questions, right? Were they
I
good
did.
answers?
Yeah, they were very helpful. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, good. And as you're studying, I mean, you can ask me any questions between now and when you take the exam.
Mhm.
Don't, if there's stuff in the finance section that you don't understand, then don't go into the exam without asking, is this important, or how do I do this?
Yeah,
Is there any possibility of getting a practice quiz for this week's material?
No, how's that sound? Let me just have a look at this week's material, Brad. Week 7, valuation and short introduction to behavioral finance. Optional discussion posts, right? So we don't need to do those, right? So chapters 22, section 3 in Manque, and 2, 3, and 4. So there's nothing here. I don't think. That's
I think
really,
just
there's nothing
some
here that's,
straightforward equations in chapter 4, really.
let me come back to market efficiency. So operational, informational allocation. I'm just looking through the material, you know, I only look at it once every, oh, and then there's Jim Mahar. And exit. So my feeling on this chapter, on this week's material, is that it's largely theoretical and intuitive. And therefore, there are not a lot of things you have to figure out, you know? So it was chapters 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and then what was it, 20 something?
22.3 or something from another book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all behavioral stuff as well, I believe.
All right. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions on the final exam on chapters 2, 3, and 4. I can create a pretend exam, a pretend quiz for you on
I
those
appreciate it.
on those 3 chapters. So you get a sense of what the questions are like. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you don't ask.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'll definitely benefit from that. All the practice I can get.
I hope this class hasn't, you know, spoiled your summer. Has it been very time consuming?
Yes, for me it is.
It has for me too, and I'll tell you my experience, and you know, I could be opposite of the rest of the class. I thought the finance part or the second half has been a little more challenging, at least for me, than the first part, the economics part. But it has been pretty time consuming. I've put a lot of work into this class.
Have you?
Mhm.
Have you learned?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it's not been a busy work type of thing.
No.
That's good then.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and I think I shared this with you the one other time we talked too. It's, you know, it challenged my thinking on a couple things, which is always sort of the goal. For me, the portion, the economics project, as well as, you know, the whole portion on, you know, why some countries do better than others economically, and just kind of thinking about that from another angle was really eye-opening. And then putting the economics behind it, right? You know, and kind of explaining those situations through that lens.
Good. Good. And the finance is applicable as well, right? I mean, you've got to sort of figure out, well, what do I need to retire? I think that's useful for anybody.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's depressing in some ways and it's also a lot of fun. And it makes me very intrigued about the investment class. So, you know, I definitely want to learn more in those areas.
Are you taking the investment class with me?
I was going to ask you about that, actually. I know you've got some spots, and I haven't done it. You know, I haven't picked my final thing yet.
It's second half of next semester, right? Starts in October?
Does it, or does it start 8:30? It's sometime in the fall, one of the two. You might be in the second part.
Investments is my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's math heavy though. But it's a good class. I like it. You know, I like teaching it.
Hey, Phoebe, you doing the finance concentration to your MBA?
I'm not. Mm-mm.
Okay. You're just taking that as one of your electives?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I might do, right now I'm just general, but maybe the analytics part, I'm just, but right now it's just general. But I like the investment part was intriguing to me because it's, practical knowledge, so
Sure.
yeah, I thought that would be interesting. But I don't want to get crushed in it either,
Well, you know, in MBA courses, I mean, the world over,
Yeah.
typically grades are C, B, and A, you know. They're
Mhm.
not- It's not like undergrad where, we're grown-ups here,
Mhm.
theoretically. So it's more, I hope, about challenging ourselves and learning, as Mark said, than it is about, putting kids through a process.
Right, yeah.
So I just wanted to look through the finance material a little bit. See, what happens is the course will get, sort of tweaked each time it runs. And sometimes they make the changes I asked for, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes the timing with concepts, it usually lines up, but sometimes it doesn't quite. It's still in the book, in general, but sometimes things, aren't quite lined up.
That happens a lot when they change the edition of the textbook.
Yeah, yeah.
This present value stuff would be important.
Yeah.
Time value of money is important stuff. Present value with annuities.
Mm-hmm.
The person who created this course used a lot of the present value annuity factor, which I don't normally use when I'm teaching a class. Like if I were teaching it in the classroom, I wouldn't use that. I would use the math formula to get to these answers, but that's fine. It's one and the same.
You're talking about the factors from the tables, right? Rather than running it all through the equation, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, if I teach a class in live, I would use the formulas
Mm-hmm.
and not the tables. So there's really just those 2 weeks that there are some formulas that you have to wrap your head around. And of course, you don't have to memorize anything. Just the 5th and 6th week, and then the 7th week is primarily this theoretical stuff. We come back to the financial statement analysis and that kind of thing. And I have to give you grades for those discussions for 5 and 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you've learned, as long as you make an effort at the discussions, you get full marks.
Do we get extra credit for the optional ones in week 7? Maybe. No.
Don't spend your time trying to do that. Spend your time trying to do what we need you to do.
Exactly.
What else?
Mm,
I don't know what else to tell you to be helpful, and like I say, I'm available between now and whenever you take it.
Yeah, but I really didn't have any specific questions. Just want to learn a little bit more about the exam format, that sort of thing. So thank you for going over that. If something comes up as I polish up studying, I will send you an email or reach out somehow, and hopefully we can get squared away.
Yeah, no problem. No problem, just do the best you can, and we hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to understand, basically what was on the exam. Great to know that there's more from the economics part on it than I thought. So I'll focus a little more there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. And it's the same test banks.
Yeah.
I used to put short answer questions in. Of course, that gives me subjectivity,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really a pain to go and open up everybody's files and look at what they drew, and so I opted for all the multiple choice.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Should we call it a day?
I think so. Thanks for scheduling the audible. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here. That's I guess my point. If you need help.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm all set. Thanks again.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
Brad, you all right?
Thank you. Yep, I'm all set.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
Good
Bye.
luck. See you in the
Thank
next
you.
class.
You bet.